So it's been that kind of show. You start at the beginning. The first day, we had a huge crop of gold medals. I wondered whether the judges had kind of dropped the bar or what was happening. Day 2, there were fewer. Day 3, there were fewer still. And when we look at the overall numbers, they are statistically exactly where this show has always been. But to get to those numbers means, in fact, raising the bar every year, because as we've said before, the industry gets better and better. It gets more nuanced. We have more new players coming in. We have, and the question was raised at the post-judging feedback session, we have more interesting niche varieties. We have producers who are getting on top of their viticulture. Probably the single most important advance has been in fruit quality. And when your fruit quality is better, your dependence on oak is much less. So we're seeing less oaky wines, more fruit-forward wines, greater finesse. We have a French judge, Eric Gutelman, who's judged this is his third stint at the show, and he's been coming to South Africa for nearly 10 years. And when he arrived, I think he was struck by the fact that we were still coming out of the dark ages of poor viticulture, too much oak. He is a Burgundian. He pretended to lament the fact that he was sent to judge the Bordeaux variety and Bordeaux blend panels. I pointed out to him that I certainly wasn't going to put him tasting Chardonnay or Pinot Noir, which are Burgundian varieties, and find him on the back foot when he saw how well we produce things like Chardonnay. So he pretended to be resentful about the Bordeaux classes. He said, as a Burgundian, you never look at that side of France. But actually, he was blown away. And his highest score of the show was for a Bordeaux blend, straight out of the starting blocks. The panelists could not believe it. We are seeing a total transformation in our older and more established varieties, and not merely in the newcomers, the niche varieties that weren't available 10 years ago. We're seeing that same transformation in the blend classes, because 10 years ago, a blend was a place you got rid of everything you hadn't sold as a single variety wine. Now those blends are the result of an act of conscious creative intention. We're seeing for the first time some really smart rosés. Of course, Chenin Blanc, which has been a platform in a sense and has had the show as a platform, 5 gold medals. Chardonnay, exactly the same. Fortified wines, the wines we see are very good. The great sadness is it's a class under threat. Nationally, the muscadels, they're not being made the way they were before, and that's because the market for them appears to be shrinking. The same is true of port-style reds, which is it's a sadness, because I think we make some amazing wines. Big excitement to have a Riesling gold medal again, and just a really fine wine, a Semillon. We really had a beautiful spread of medals this year. Merlot, couple of Pinotages, and a really strong Cup Classique class. So the overall sense is of an industry with a wonderful spread of talent, as well as a couple of really strong, well-represented classes.